My guest today is Ted Grant. Born and raised in Halifax, he spent 8 years as a chef traveling all around the world. Returning to the Maritimes to pursue teaching at the Culinary Institute of Canada and PEI, and later joining NSCC as manager of hospitality programming. In 2016, Ted left the college to join TrueLeaf, Plant Science and Good Leaf Farms as Chief Product Officer for a few years until he founded Viveau in 2018. In this episode of BlendedTV, we dive into Ted's personal pursuit of excellence and why and how he created Viveau. You don't want to miss this episode. Ted's energy and enthusiasm is unbelievable, and if it's Viveau that causes that, I'll take two. Ted, welcome to BlendedTV. I've heard so much about you. Before we met, we have a number of mutual friends, and every single person that I've talked to about you always talks about your energy enthusiasm. What's the secret?
Oh my gosh, I think the secret is, sleep, diet, and exercise. I can't run a busy startup. I can't be hyper focused on, all of the challenges of the day and balancing, those challenges of the day of kids and all the family stuff. And then you got the busy work stuff and anything else in between without sleeping, exercising, and eating well.
And your wife's a naturopath?
She's a naturopathic doctor. Yeah.
So what have you learned from her that's given you the...
Where do you want to start?
Fair enough.
She is such a huge impact for all of our lives, in our in the entire family, in the extended family, my side of the family, her side of the family, and that's been a massive contribution to me being able to do the things that I do, and you just referenced the energy, and it really is about getting as many of those green foods in your diet, getting all those real ingredients in your diet, and as a result of a good diet, I find I just want to be more active. And then if I'm more active and I'm eating well, I'm sleeping 8 hours a night, no problem. So her influence has been a significant, again, I say it again and I'm repeating myself, but just a significant contribution to me being my best self, and and my kids. And so we follow that strict kind of regime with our children too. Eat well, exercise, get them out for fresh air, and then they're sleeping great.
So one of the things that we've talked about in the past, which I find absolutely incredible, is the mindset that you have around your bad days. And I wanted to bring this up because I think it's something that people struggle with, but you have this ability to consciously make a decision that any bad day can just simply be, at the snap of fingers, turned into a good day. And you do that, and you told me that you've done this through dancing with your kids and playing music, but tell us a little bit more of that, because that's a huge part about, we talk a lot about health, but not just physical and mental health. So how do you do it?
Yeah, I think, everybody has to have their outlets, right? Everybody has to think about what is the path to turn that frown upside down. I mean, it's we say it to kids all the time, but what is that path? And some people choose exercise, some people choose meditation. I typically choose fun. I need to check myself at the door. So if I have had maybe a lousy morning, at home, and we haven't got the lunches ready in time, and everybody's racing out the door, and it's a bit of a kerfuffle, then I got to get to work as if it was the most perfect morning and begin my day with the team ready to go. Good energy, good vibes. Let's go. Let's make the most out of this. And then at the end of the day, it's the same thing. I could be hit with the most outrageous news at 5:30. And on the drive home, but it stops. When I get out of the car, I check myself, and then I wander up the steps, in the door I go, and it's like, all right, how was everybody's day? Good, how was yours? Totally great. you know? And it's not being, you know, I don't think it's being fake. I don't think it's, you know, not expressing your emotions. I think it's just, you know, recognizing the impact of your emotions. And so, you know, it's not that you have to channel all of that yourself and internalize it all yourself. There's moments in which, you know, maybe at 8 o'clock when I put my kids to bed, I'm gonna go for a walk and I'm gonna relive a little bit of that. I'm gonna soften that blow that happened, you know, in the car on the drive home. And I'm gonna, you know, really think about, you know, what are the steps to overcome that with a solution. But it's not for that moment. So it's about compartmentalizing it. And I'm starting to do that better. And I wasn't always good at it. I wasn't throughout my career. I wasn't always as effective at that as I am now. And that's just come with practice. That's come with reading and learning from those who, you know, who model that behavior, who model that best practice in a way in which you want to emulate. And
put you on the spot here, going to reading. What are the top 3 books that you've used in order to instill these types of habits or tricks?
You know, I don't know if it's just, I mean, yeah, it's books or it's articles, and, you know, you've got, everybody talks about, you know, people like Simon Sinek and, you know, about leadership. And it's a huge, what I just, you know, alluded to is a huge, has a huge alignment with leadership. You know, it's about, you know, just leadership is about being a role model. It's about setting that example. It's about inspiring. And, you know, the fact that people say that about me, you know, of course makes me smile, but it allows me then to connect knowing that I'm doing the right things. And so whether it's Cynic, you know, whether it's, you know, somebody who practices, you know, positivity in their life, I could name off all sorts of things, you know. Right now I'm reading Never Split the Difference, and it's, you know, it's about being a great listener, and it's about, you know, that empathetic listening, so that people are being heard. And, you know, it doesn't matter where you are in your life, whether it's, you know, your personal and your family, or whether it's at work, or whether it's just you and I here. You want to be heard, and so do I. And it just makes for that much of a better connection. And, you know, I think that, you know, the theme that I've been able to weave through my life in terms of being effective, whether now as a leader or whether being a dad or a good husband or whatever, is being grounded and guiding that process with my ear and listening. And you know, we say that at our office, you know, we say that we're, you know, this entire brand Viveau has come to life and has gotten to where it is by learning from those, you know, who have come before us. And you know, it doesn't matter if they were an entrepreneur or they're a trainer in the gym or whatever. They're helping us to overcome some of these challenges and providing us with that path or those solutions to being our best self. And you know, so those are the, I hope I answered that question.
That's great. So let's dive into Viveau. At Blended Athletics, one of our mission statements is surrounding the pursuit of excellence and helping our members and our greater community essentially pursue excellence, whether it's professionally, personally, or socially. And Viveau has a very similar kind of mission with regards to helping people live their best life or a better life. So how and why did you start Viveau, and how'd you come up with it?
Yeah, so it's, you know, my background is I was a professional chef. You know, I was at university and just loving cooking with real ingredients. And that's what led me to go to culinary school. And, you know, once you jump in with 2 feet into culinary school and you realize, you know, the power of real ingredients and how special they are when you marry the right flavors together. And then ultimately, as we talked about with health, it's how does it make you feel when you cook with real ingredients? You know, it's a different feeling altogether, and it enables you because you know, the love that goes into the moment in the kitchen in making the meal, the love that comes together when everybody's at the table eating it, the feeling after that, you know what, somebody put a ton of care into that meal to make this a special moment. That's the essence of Viveau. You know, there's a lot of stuff on the shelf right now in sparkling water or juice or in any category of drink that has no thought, that has no care, that doesn't connect with the consumer. And how could the consumer connect with it? It's tap water and fake flavoring. What we wanted to do is we wanted to create that special moment that people could connect to the thought that was going into the drink. And so it was about finding really incredible fresh fruit and supporting our local farmers, you know, recognizing, you know, how incredible Canadian agriculture it is, and coupling that with an unbelievable mineral water, so that when you crack that top and you take your first sip, it should be, wow, that's the fruit that it says it's supposed to be on the bottle. And boy, does it taste like that without being too sweet, without being too viscous, without putting the sweaters on on your teeth. And so the end product is something that we hope that people really recognize the thought that goes into it. And we as a society have become so numb to what we eat and drink, and we just settle and we expect that consumer packaged goods should just be, you know, ho-hum, or we should settle for it not tasting like it says it's supposed to taste like, you know, or we should settle for this long list of ingredients. That's insane. And so that was the inspiration for it. That's where it all began, is let's get back to simplifying. Let's get back to getting, you know, getting people inspired by real ingredients, you know. And so the movement in which now we're trying to create is this real food movement. And it's to say to you, and it's to say to the people of this gym, and it's to say to the people of our community, don't settle, expect more. And when you've got that drink or that packaged good in your hands, think about, where does it come from? Who made it? Do they care about me? Do they want me to make a connection to this? You know, and so when we have the opportunity to share this drink with people for the first time, and they crack it in front of us and have a taste, that's the magic. That's the moment where you feel validated. That's the moment where you feel it's, you know, all that effort is worth it. And, you know, that's the moment in which you feel like you are enabling people to be their best selves, because you're telling them with that sip that they are cared for, that I do deeply, genuinely have an interest in them enjoying what they're drinking. And I do want them to be their healthiest by enjoying real food and real ingredients. And that is where, you know, you don't know that when you start it, but that's where you hope you're gonna get.
And how much of this has to do with lack of education? I mean, natural flavoring. I mean, as a consumer, thinking of from a marketing perspective, natural flavoring is not natural.
No. Oh, I knew you were going to take me there.
So, I think education's really important.
It is so important, and it is the reason that these big, you know, mega conglomerates get away with what they're doing. It is for a lack of education. And, you know, of course, education you know, from elementary school to secondary and post-secondary, all of that is so valuable. But you know, the bigger theme is, yes, education around healthy eating and food and choices, and you know, and giving access to all socioeconomics statuses, you know, real food, real ingredients, giving them a reason to believe that real ingredients is the path to a better future. And so, you know, on lots of packaged goods, it's the fourth highest, most listed ingredient in all of the packaged food world is natural flavor. Well, yes, it isn't natural. It has many chemicals. It is essentially the same thing as artificial. And so instead of us as a brand and me, as a thought leader with this brand, having any negative marketing about other businesses that use natural flavor, what we want to do is encourage people to choose real ingredients. What we want to do is to have people connect with looking at a label, turning around a package or a bottle and looking at those ingredients and saying, yeah, I know what it is, I trust it, I feel good about it, I'm gonna buy it.
So does it get any simpler than this? You look in the ingredients on a Viveau: carbonated natural mineral water, cherry juice, and apple cider.
That's it.
That's pretty simple.
That's pretty simple.
There's no natural flavors there.
No.
Other than the actual flavor itself, which is truly natural.
Totally. Yeah. And so, we often think, why use natural flavor? Why is it that people are choosing it? Well, it's so accessible. It's so cheap. It's so easy. You know what's not easy? Is sourcing fresh fruit in the bounty of the season so that you can give your consumer the most nutrition possible. That's not easy. It's not easy to go through the pressing process. It's not easy to get it into the bottle, just like it is to use tap water and a fake dropper of flavor. And so what we're trying to communicate at the same time is that, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more than your regular sparkling waters in the category. It's gonna cost a little bit more, but it's for the right reasons. Think about how it affects our community as Canadians. Think about how the dollars are staying in our communities and at home. Every single time that someone buys a Viveau, you've supported Canadian agriculture. You've supported usually rural Canada. And that's a huge, huge impact.
And I think more so today than ever before is that something that as consumers, we're consciously thinking about how we can be on the right side of that.
Totally. I think, we talk all about local. And, I am a massive champion of local. I have been forever. And I can say that. I was raised by a grandfather who was a farmer. And so I understood right away, again, the power of fresh ingredients. So then my mom used to take me to farmers markets. And again, that's where I was inspired to get into a culinary career. And, so the opportunity for people to recognize, just what we're doing here, that it is that much more, that there is that much more commitment, that there is that much more dedication to what's inside, to to local, to thinking about how do we take local as in a small kind of micro approach to a macro approach, and recognizing that we can celebrate local agriculture from tip to tip in this country by supporting different farmers throughout the country, buying their fruit for Viveau. And, so there's a whole lot of people that celebrate, okay, well, I'm going to a local restaurant, or I'm going to support this local chef. And that's really special. But to take it one step further is knowing that all of your inputs are local. That's the dream. That is the most special part of building a consumer packaged good that is sold from Newfoundland to British Columbia. In grocery stores, knowing that everything is local.
And you're not just national now, you've also gone international?
Yeah, we had these massive dreams of, still, of course, having this brand be recognized globally, and people, saying, wow, I can get a taste of Nova Scotia or a taste of Canada in Singapore or in the UK. And so, it's, you want to be careful in how many markets you go after right away. But we certainly have a desire to be in Asia, and we have a desire to be in Europe, and we have a desire to be south of the border in the United States to start. And you know, to be honest, it's good for everybody, right? It recognizes how incredible our agricultural product is here. You know, people dream of being so fortunate and lucky to have the water that we use in Viveau, you know, in those countries. And you know, so it's a celebration of Canada. And you know, the other thing about building this brand is inspiring other entrepreneurs to say, I can do it. You know, I can start something from nothing in my own local community and get people excited about it. And then I can see success, you know, in a regional way. And then I can take it even further. And that's a special feeling. You know, it's part of that whole, you know, evident care philosophy that we have at Viveau, which is just giving back.
So let's dive into the health aspect of Viveau. I mean, ultimately, in an ideal scenario, I feel like I'd ask this question to your wife, but when we look at health, how is this making us better?
Well, it's a great question, and it's a controversial question because people say, you know, society has led people to believe and talk about education that you shouldn't have any sugar in your diet. You know, and you always have to count your calories. You know, and it's baloney. You know, here I am sitting here in the best shape of my life, and yeah, I'm not telling everybody to go out and drink 10 Vivos a day, but a couple of Vivos a day, it's great. You know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of fructose in your diet. And so what we're giving you is we're giving you an extremely high antioxidant rate. We're giving you lots of minerals in your water, and we're giving you vitamins from the fruit. We're not empty calories. And so you don't just do an apples to apples comparison and go, oh my gosh, there's, you know, 7 grams of fructose in there. Yeah, that's good, that's okay. You know, and so from a health perspective, it's like the health component is so much bigger than just what's inside the bottle. It's what I just referenced with you. It's that you can actually hold a Viveau and know that we put this together because we care about you consuming it. We care that you're supporting local agriculture. We care that when you finish consuming it, you're gonna feel better. And this is purely anecdotal, but we have so many people that approach us to say, what is it about this drink? What makes me feel better when I consume it? You know, and we say, oh, it's the nice complement of water and fruit. But I think it is more than that. It's the taste, right? And so it's you know, it's all upstairs, and it's all encompassing. It's like what I referenced when I make a great meal and bring people together. It's not just about what they're tasting. It's knowing how much I care about providing them with something special. It's knowing how much that table just has more love because, you know, we're passing around this incredible food and we're all going, wow, you know, it's so special, you know, and that's what this is. It's a really special drink.
Yeah, I think that the biggest and most important point that you made is that it's not empty calories. There is a lot of value in what sits in a Viveau. And I was having this conversation with some friends the other day. You know, we've always been told that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And I think the new world is that a Viveau a day will keep the doctor away. I mean, ultimately, we should be drinking a Viveau at lunch every single day.
Yeah, well, look, I love that you're the greatest champion of that. And that could be a billboard with your face on it.
I won't say no to that. So Viveau, over the next year, where can people here in Nova Scotia, across Canada, where can they pick it up?
Well, we're super lucky to have great distribution. So they can grab it at Sobeys and grab it at Loblaws and grab it at Pete's Frutique, and they can grab it at Organic Earth Market and all these little places, and I wish I could say them all. Finsbury Market, all these great places, local source. I can't say them all. You know, no matter what community you go into across the country, you can find Viveau in one of your grocery stores, one of your local markets. We just were awarded the national second cup contract to be the only exclusive sparkling beverage in all their cafes across the country.
So Ted, now that we can all find a Viveau in our local stores, what is the 3-second pitch on why we should actually go pick this up?
Look, it's 50% fresh pressed fruit, captured in the bounty of the season with all the nutrition, and 50% incredible mineral water, loaded with bicarbonate, calcium, magnesium, manganese, and the list goes on. And so, again, crack the top and taste it, it's unreal.
So Vivo's now a number of years in. Fast forward another 30 years. Where do you see Viveau 30 years from now?
Look, all I can say is I hope I'm still drinking it. And I'm still doing all those things that you and I talked about, eating well, sleeping well, exercising. But, you know, perhaps the most important that I would like to see, single thing, I'd love to see grocery stores filled with consumer packaged goods that are only made with real ingredients. Every single item that you can trust. And so we built this thing on trust, transparency, honesty. I'd love to see that across the board in consumer packaged goods. You can imagine that. You shop at the grocery store. There's a lack of trust out there. And so when I'm 80 years old and I'm still having a Viveau, I'm excited because I've inspired a movement, a real food movement, that people are connecting to the right things, which is making the choices when they vote by buying something for real ingredients.
Ted, well, you've gotten me excited. Thank you so much for joining me this evening on BlendedTV. Listen, if you can go out to the grocery store this week and grab a Viveau and try it for yourself, you are going to be blown away by the taste and the value that you're going to pull from it. Not only that, but a little surprise brought to you by Ted. We are going to give away a 3-month supply of Viveau. The details on how you can win that are going to be in the post below, but a Viveau a day for 3 months, can't beat that.